today we're going to be talking about the getting started with ShareFile. First of all, how do you access your ShareFile account? How do you access your ShareFile domain? So first of all, there are two different ways to do it. You can either go directly to your account. There's going to be a way to identify your account, and it's by subdomain. So everything that it's in front of the .sharefile.com is going to be your subdomain. In my case, is fcastro09.sharefile.com. That is specific to my account. So if I click, if I go to my browser and look for that address, it's going to take me to my login screen, where it's going to ask me for my email, that it's already there because it's already cached in my browser. And then it's going to ask me to enter my password. However, what if you don't know what your ShareFile domain is? You can always go to sharefile.com directly. And let me go ahead and correct that. Sharefile.com. So you can go to our website, and you're going to have an option on the upper right corner that says login. If you go to login, it's going to take you to a first screen, which is going to ask you for your subdomain, in which case, the only thing that you'll have to type in is fcastro09, or, of course, the name of your company, the name of your organization. But if you're not certain of what your subdomain is, you can always click on Don't Know Your Account's Subdomain. If you click on that option, it's going to take you to another screen, but it's going to ask you for your email address. So the email address that you should enter here is the email that relates to that account. So in this case, I'm going to type in this email address. And I'm going to click on I'm not a robot. Let me go ahead and select this motorcycle images, verify that, and continue. So what is going to happen after that is that the system will send me an email with a list of all the domains associated with my account. So let me go ahead and open my email here. And if I go to my email inbox and I click on this email that I just got, you will be able to tell all the accounts that I'm a part of. And in this case, the one that I'm looking for is this one. So I already know that this is the page that I'm looking for. So I'm going to go back to my browser here, and I will go to my account. It's going to take me to this fcastro.sharefile.com. I enter my email address, and then I will enter my password. So those are the two different ways for you to sign in into your website. Of course, the most direct one will be to just type in the domain on your web browser. It will take you directly to your ShareFile instance or ShareFile account. Once that you open your ShareFile account, you're going to have what is called the dashboard. In the dashboard, you will be able to customize this view. You can add or remove these tiles here. So if you can click on the Edit Dashboard on the upper right corner, and in here, what you're going to have is an option to turn on and off the different tiles that are going to be listed. So in this case, what I do want to add is going to be the favorites. All of the remaining ones were on, so I'm going to click on Save. And now what I have here is all of them being part of my dashboard. And in addition, I can also move them around, change the location for these tiles in case that I want to just have more access to this one in the first place. Now, you are going to be able to see your favorites, which are the folders and files that you have marked as favorites. We're going to go over that in a minute. You can also have shortcuts within ShareFile for the most used tasks that we've seen our clients perform within ShareFile. So sharing file, requesting files, creating new users. Recent files are the most recent documents that you have opened in the past. So it's going to be listed on top. The most recent one will be listed on top here. And you also have tutorials It's pretty much quick videos that will explain to you how to interact with ShareFile, how to make the most out of it. And you can start from the basics all the way to the advanced options within ShareFile. And I highly recommend that if this is your first time using the ShareFile tool, take a quick look at these videos. They are going to be pretty useful as well. Now, next, we are going to go over how to create users within ShareFile. Now, there are two different type of users. You are going to have the possibility to create client users and employee users. Differences between them is that client users will be considered third-party users, all the people that are external to your organization. This could be your clients. This could be your maybe a contractor. It could be anyone that doesn't belong to your team, right? To your company, that doesn't have the same email address as the people in your company. And then you have the employee users, which are your colleagues, your the people that belong to your company are going to have a employee account within ShareFile. To do that or to create one, you'll need to go to people on the left-hand side. And then you're going to have three options here that are pretty important. Manage users home, browse employees, and browse clients. So there are two ways to create employee users and client users. The first one is going to be manage users home. If you click on that one, as you can see, you're going to be given these two options, create employee and create client. If you click on any of those, it's going to take you to the screen that is going to request a couple details in order for you to be able to create these users. And you can also go to browse employees on the left, where you're going to be able to see a list of the employees that are part of your company. And you're going to be able to also create employee here. And if you go to browse clients, add client here. So those are the two different ways for you to be able to create a user within ShareFile. Let me go to the manage users home, and I'm going to create an employee as an example here. So ShareFile will always ask you to ask you for three different pieces of information in order to create a user. It's going to be the first name of the user, the last name, and the email address. So you will also have an option to do it in bulk in case that you have multiple users to add at the same time. You can click on this link on top. It's going to take you to an option to download a Excel spreadsheet, where if you do this, what is going to happen is that you're going to be able to open that and edit this one in Excel. And what is going to happen here is that you're going to be offered or given different fields: the email address, first name, last name, and company. A quick tip here is that every time that you're given a template from ShareFile, keep in mind that these fields cannot be modified. You cannot add an extra here. Just keep that in mind, that you can always enter the email address, first name, last name, and company. But at the moment, it's not possible to add additional information. If you do so, it may create errors, and you will need to start from scratch. So you will need to just go ahead and fill in these rows here with information. I'm not gonna use this for the moment. I'm just gonna go ahead and create a user from scratch. So it's gonna be this, and I'm gonna use one of my email addresses. I'm gonna say that the company will be, in this case, Citrix. And since this is an employee user, employees will have more accesses within the tool. Client users are very limited. They don't have much permissions within ShareFile, but when I create a client user, employee user, I can go to the user access. And this is where I will be able to set the different permissions that the user will have within ShareFile. I can give you like a quick summary today of what these options do. Basically, it's going to be the way I can limit or provide more administrative rights within ShareFile. So if I go to files and folders, I can allow the users to create folders in the root level of shared folders. I can also allow them to have a personal file box. We are going to go over that one today as well. If you have a premium account and you have right signature or e-signature, you can allow them to have permissions within that to send documents for signature. You can also allow them to manage the employees, manage clients. That will also give them access to create these users within the ShareFile tool. You can also allow them to share distribution groups in case that they create one. When it comes to branding or company information, you can also allow them to edit that within ShareFile. For billing, you can also give them access to these view receipts and billing notifications, edit the billing information. Also, if you have SharePoint connectors, network shares, you also have other connectors, you can allow them to create them. The storage zones, in case that you want to have your information on premise, which is also possible, you can allow them to create and manage them. And finally, we also have advanced preferences to create folder templates and also do file drops and remote upload forms. For today, I'm gonna stick with the basics. I will leave the permissions as they are because this is gonna be just a regular employee. And another option is going to be to set the storage location in case that I have different storage zones, either on cloud or on-prem. I will be able to choose from this drop-down menu. At the moment, I only have one. That's why it's grayed out. So I'm going to continue here with the options. Assign folders will give me the opportunity to save some time in case I already know what folders I want this user to have access to. I can go ahead and click on that, and it's going to take me to this screen where I can actually select the folders this user is going to be given access to. It can either be folders, ups, or even subfolders within the ShareFile structure. And I can also add the user directly to a distribution group, which is going to be a list of users that belong to a specific group. And I can also copy the access from an existing user in case that I don't want to go one by one. I can just go ahead and create a mirror of another user's permission. So I'm going to just click on create and continue. I'm going to click on continue anyway because I don't want to assign folders at the moment. And this is pretty important. I highly recommend that if you're adding a new user, you notify the user that the user has access now. So you can either skip that, or notify the user. You can also select to send a copy of this email to your inbox. And you can always come to the preview email screen to see how it's going to look like. But I highly recommend to notify the user. So I'm going to click on notify. And what the user is going to get is an email letting them know that you have added them to ShareFile, and that will allow this user to create a user password. So if I go back to my account here, what I'm going to be able to see is that I have the option here to activate my account. So I'm going to click on that option, and I will just go ahead and wait for that option to come up. So basically, it's going to take me to a screen for me to set up a user information if I was the employee that is being added to ShareFile. So let me go ahead and refresh this. Oh, there we go. So it's going to ask me for my first name, my last name, the company. I can still edit that. If I continue, it's going to ask me to create a password. So I'm creating a password here. And I will create it. And it's going to activate my account. And it's going to give me access to the ShareFile domain that I'm part of. So this is what the employee will see when they access the account. And I'm going to go back here to the view as an admin. So we've been able to see how to create an employee that I can edit their permissions within ShareFile, and also what the notification is going to look like for that user. If I go to browse clients, it's going to say pretty much the same if I click on add client, or once again, if I go to manage users and create a client from here. As you can see, it's the same 3 pieces of information. So I'm going to use another email address. And if I do this, this is going to be a client user. And remember that you can also take advantage of the template. And once that you have the template saved with the changes, you can choose the file and import that. But I'm not going to do that for today. You can select the folders the user is going to have access to, create and continue anyway. And I'm going to notify the user too. Now, I already have a user, a client user created, and an employee user created. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is to show you folders that these users can be added to. So within folders, you're gonna have, this is gonna be the second option from top to bottom. You're gonna have personal folders and shared folders. The difference between these two is that personal folders are visible to the user that is creating the folders, and only users with the special accesses will be able to see them. Regular users will not be able to see what is within the personal folders structure. Within shared folders, if you have something that you have to share with your users, with clients, I highly recommend to come to the shared folders and create a folder and add the information here. And then you can decide who is going to be part of that folder as well. So let me show you what I mean. From personal folders, you will always have the option to upload information, create folders, and request files. So if I create a folder, I can always go to the plus sign in the upper right corner here, click on create folder, and give it a name. And then I can always decide if I want to add people to the folder from this view. I can still add details to add a kind of a description of what the folder is going to be for, what information is going to be contained within the folder. And I can also apply a template if you already have one, but for today's example, I will remain with the basics, create folder, and I have the folder here. So I will be able to add people to this folder as well. But if you are going to be sharing information, maybe you want to go with the shared folder. That is just a recommendation. You can still do it. From this folder, you can go to the people, as I mentioned, and add the people from this option on the right-hand side. You will be able to see also who is part of the folder and what rights they have within the folder, what they can do within the folder. Now, at the moment, these super users that are part of the folder will be able to download files that are in the folder. They will be able to see the files. They will be able to upload, and they will be able to delete information within the folder. Now, if I want to give them download alerts and upload alerts, I just need to check these two options and save those changes. In case that you have a big folder structure, you can also click on the options and apply the permissions to subfolders in here in order for you to save time done, and that will prevent you from going folder by folder and setting those permissions. Now, within the folder, you will also have the 3 dots to customize some other information within the folder, maybe copy the folder to another location, move the folder to another location, view the folder details. You can always access the recycle bin that belongs to this specific folder. You can always go to delete the folder, and edit advanced folder settings is another option where you can set an expiration date on a specific date. You can set retention policy. This can be set from the admin settings. You can enable file versioning, which is highly recommended as well. It's going to create different versions of the same file every time that you save a new copy into ShareFile. You can sort the order of how the information is going to be presented in the list. So you can sort by file size, and you can go ascending or descending. You can go to name and apply the same settings there. And also you can apply a folder template to save some time if you have to create a big folder structure. Now, in terms of shared folders, it's pretty much the same. You will have the shared folders, the root shared folders, and you can create a folder from the plus sign. I'm going to give it a name here. Create the folder. I can still do the same, add details, add people, apply templates. I can even set a storage zone for this folder in case that you have multiple. You can decide where the information will be stored, create the folder, and I will have the same options in here. Now, if I go to people, I now want to add the new employee that I just created. So how do I do it? I click on the add people to folder, and I will look for that employee that had this Citrix email address. I will add that employee. I can add multiple employees if I need to choose another one. So I will add this other at cloud.com email address employee. And then the good thing about it is if I add one or add multiple, I can set their permissions from here. We mentioned view, download, upload, delete, and admin. Pretty much the difference here is that admin will allow them to receive download notifications and also create users within the folder, create client users. View will allow them only to view the files. They will not be able to download. But if I give the download permissions, they will be able to create a copy of the file in their computer or their devices. Now, upload will also give them permissions to upload files into the folder. Delete, of course, delete files and folders within ShareFile. And then what is going to happen here is that I can set the folder alerts where I can say I want to notify the users when the files are uploaded. If I want to enable the downloaded option, I'll need to click on the admin one, and this will enable that one. So I will give them those permissions, and I want them to get those notifications. And I will also notify them that I have add the users to this folder, and I can edit the message, be more specific on that one. And I can also apply permissions to subfolders in order to save time. So I'm going to add them. What is going to happen next is that these users are going to get a notification that I have add them to the folder, and they will have the rights that I have previously set. So this is pretty much how you can add people to your folders. If you want to get rid of one of these users, you can just click on the user and then remove selected. And also, you can also go back. And what the user will have to do in order to add information is to either click on Browse Files within the folder or upload from the plus sign that is on the upper right corner. Both options will take the user to the same place, which is a screen where they will be able to choose from different locations in their machines. So if I open this, I will go ahead and select a file. I will click on the file, open the file. I will be able to add another one in case that I'm missing information here. Open that and then click on upload. I will be able to see the progress bar that will let me know that the upload has been completed. And now I have information within this folder. And the users that are part of this folder will be able to perform all those tasks that I have assigned to them with these files. They will be able to see the file, they will be able to download, they will be able to delete the file if needed, and also upload additional information. Every single user will be able to perform the task as long as I have given them those permissions. Now, in addition of doing that, if the user wants to perform a specific task, they can always click on the button and click on share, or they can download from here as well. And they will have more options here to delete, to preview, move the file, rename, check out the file in case that they are doing a collaboration among different employees to edit the information. They can also add a note. So I want the users that have access to ShareFile to this specific folder to get more details about this PDF. So if I add a note, I can let them know, please do not remove the file. They can remove anything else. I don't want them to remove the file. If they click on the note, they will be able to see what the note is for. Now, when it comes to sharing information within ShareFile or requesting information, those concepts refer to uploads and downloads. So if I share information, I will allow other people, either colleagues or client users or users that are external to my organization, to download information. If I request files from users, what I mean by that is that I will ask them, or I will require them to upload information into ShareFile. And there are several ways to do that. I'm going to show you how to do it from the dashboard and also how to do it from a folder. Now, if you go to the dashboard, in the shortcuts, you're going to have the option to share files from here and also request files from here. So I'm going to be allowing users to download information, or I'm going to be requiring users to upload information into ShareFile. Let's go with share files. When I click on share files in the dashboard, I will be able to browse files either from ShareFile. So it's a file that has been previously uploaded into my ShareFile tool, or from the computer. So these are new files that are not part of the ShareFile tool at the moment. If I go to the option that says from ShareFile, it's going to open a new screen and it's going to allow me to browse through the folder structure, and I will be able to look for the file that I'm looking to share, click on add, and then I can continue. And it's going to give me a menu to either create a link that I can share with my users via IM, via text message, via email, or I can choose send to specific people. So if I choose the option to create a link, I can either create link from here or edit the options in this section, in this menu, to customize the way my users will interact with the file that I'm sharing with them. So if I go to access options, I will be able to let them know or just control if they can either view the file, just take a look at the file, and that will be it. They will not be able to download it, or if I want to allow them to download the file. I can also say if this is going to be a public public link, meaning that anyone in the world will be able to see the content of the file. Maybe I want to be more restrictive and I want the users to be able to see the file only if they sign in into ShareFile. That will give me more control on that, and it's going to be more secure. And I also have the option to only share this with employee users that have to sign in. Please take into consideration that in order for them to see the file, they will have to have a username and a password within ShareFile in order to access the file. Now I will go with anyone public today, and then I can decide whether or not the link is going to expire. So I can either select never or select a time frame that is good for the file, for them to be able to download the file. So I'm going to go with never today. This check mark is pretty important. If you have versioning enabled on your account, clicking on this option or putting a check mark there will always link to the latest version of the file. So if you have multiple versions, users with that link will always open the most recent one to see the most updated version. You can still add a watermark to the file. And also this option that says notify me when this link is accessed, it means that once that the file is downloaded, you are gonna be able to, or viewed, you're gonna be able to receive a email notification on that one. So I'm gonna create and copy, and I have that option enabled now. I can also go to send to specific people, which is gonna open like an email editor when I can enter email addresses here, or I can look for an existing user within ShareFile, change the subject and add a message. And I can still go to the edit options here and set the same permissions we did before in order for users to open the link in different ways. And I'm gonna click on cancel. I will click on back. Yep, I just wanna go back to the previous screen. So I'm gonna share a file again, and this time I'm gonna select from computer. So if I select from computer, this is what is gonna happen. I will click on open that PDF. And I will click on continue. And since this is a file that is brand new to ShareFile, if I click on create link, what is gonna happen is that that file will be saved in my file box. So that's the difference that I wanted to share with you today. You can either select files that are already part of ShareFile, or you can select files that are in your device. It could be your PC or Mac device, your phone. If you do that, the file will be saved in the file box. How do you access those files? You can go to folders, and then you go to file box. And this is where the file is going to be. As you can see, it's the most recent one because it was uploaded a few minutes ago. This is where the file will be. The only thing that you have to consider is that there's an expiration policy here that is set to 180 days. After that, the file will be removed from the file box. So if you wanna keep the file, you can always click on the file and move it to a different location. If you wanna keep the file within your ShareFile folder structure. So once again, from the dashboard, you can share files, you can request files. If I request a file, it's gonna be pretty much the same. I can select the default location. So I want you to notice something. If I click on request files from the dashboard, the default location will be my file box because I'm not setting or I'm not going to a specific folder to share the file. If I do that, I mean to request the file, if I do it, it will be saved there. I can still go and edit that to select a specific folder where the file will be saved into. Now, I can create a link to share the file, I mean to request the files, or send an email to specific people requesting the information. If I go to folders and I go to one of my folders, and I click on new shared folder, which is the one that we created today, I can do the same. I can share the file or request files to be saved here. Now, if I click on share here, it's gonna give me the option to share the link, edit the link options, or send to specific people, which is like the email tool that we have. And if I click on request files on the plus sign, the default location will be the folder I am in at the moment. So those are the differences that you will notice from sharing files from the dashboard and sharing files from a specific folder. I'm not given the option to choose from computer when sharing files because the file is already here. And the default location when requesting files will be the folder that I'm already in. And I will be able to create the link or send to specific people. Now, We have covered how to assign permissions within the folder, how to edit those permissions, how to share information, how to upload. So I can go to the plus sign, upload from my computer, and then add the files to the folder. And we have also covered how to share information, request information. There's something remaining in the agenda, which is how to check on the user's activity. For this, you will need permissions in order to see reports. So if you go to settings and you go to admin settings on the left-hand side, you will have the option to go to company account info, and you can click on reporting. So one more time, on the left menu, you go to settings, admin settings, company account info, reporting. And this is where you can actually create different reports. Now, in order to create these reports, you will need to click on this option, and they can either be recurrent or reports on demand. So what I'm gonna share with you today is that I will click on the usage report to show you how to create that one. But as you can see, it's gonna have the name of the report and a brief description of what this report does. So say that you wanna know what is the list of the users that are part of your ShareFile tool. You can come to the users report and you will get a detailed report showing all users on my account. You can also get a detailed breakdown of who are sharing what files. This is pretty important. Also request that have been that request links that have been shared with other users. And also you can check what permissions the users have within the account in terms of folders and accesses. Now, for today's example, I'm gonna go with the usage report. So pretty much I'm looking for the activity based on account, folder, or user. So if I click on that one, I need to click on next, then later. I can give it a name. I can select the dates that I want the report to be generated from and to. Now, please take into consideration that you can only do that in a 90-day period. That will be the maximum amount of time that you can select. So you can go back to maybe January, February, March 2024, but you cannot create a report from January to July because the system will not be able to generate that. You will need to do it in a 90-day period. So let's say that I want to go and take a look at the activity from October. I will do it with the entire account. I can go to a specific user in case that I want to know what happened or what a user did within the ShareFile tool, or I can still select a folder. What happened within the folder? What files were uploaded? What information was deleted? When was deleted? And I can include subfolders. For today's example, I will go with entire account, and you can select or just remove the check marks from all the options that will be listed in the report. So say that I want to take a look at delete. I want to just get rid of some of this. Check in and check out. I'm gonna select those ones. These are the ones that I'm gonna be interested in. I can say if this is gonna be a recurrent report or regular reports. If I go with no, it's gonna be a one-time report. If I go with yes, I will be offered the option to select what day of the week I want the report to be generated and where I want to store the report. For this example, I will go with no, and I will select the format, which is going to be Excel. I'm going to create a create. I can tell that the report has been generated as soon as this turns into a gray check mark. A green check mark. I can click on the arrow here, and I will go with view. So basically what it's going to do is open a new tab with the report of the information that I was looking for. And as you can see, I will be able to see what happened in the entire account in October. So I will be able to check on the date and time. the item that was either created as a folder or a file. I will be able to see what was the activity, what user performed the activity. Then I will be able to see what company the user belongs to, the IP address it was made from, and also location and the event ID. Uh, Event ID is pretty useful for support in case that you have to create a support case. So this is pretty much how to track the activity within your ShareFile domain and look for ShareFile webinars. And then the first result will take you to the same page. So in here, you will be able to see the upcoming webinars that we are going to be streaming in the next couple weeks. If you are having technical questions, you can go to support. This is the URL, support.sharefile.com. This is where you can find the community. It's kind of a forum for you to be able to post your questions to. Getting started, it's going to contain details about ShareFile, but the most important section here, in case that you want to create a support ticket, is the chat with us option at the bottom right corner, where you will be able to get information or support in terms of customer service, billing support, and technical support as well, just by clicking on this. And finally, you can also go to the ShareFile logo at the bottom right corner, click on it, and then you will be able to see an option that says Get Started. So it's going to contain information on how to perform these different tasks within ShareFile. What's new? It's always highly recommended to keep an eye on that one to be on top of the most recent updates. You can also get support articles. You can also go to how to videos, and you can always get the information to contact your success engineer. Now, your success engineer will be the person that you can contact in case that you have how-to questions on ShareFile. If you need to get information on what a setting does within ShareFile, how to better understand a feature within ShareFile, there the customer success engineer will be responsible of taking you from point A and taking you to point B to understand all that capabilities that ShareFile has. So this person will be your point of contact within ShareFile. You can always click on Let's Connect. It's going to take you to a screen to schedule a meeting with your customer success engineer. So that will be it for today.